Good afternoon, one and all person here. I am very happy to introduce Dr. V. Sivaraman, currently Director, Industry Institute, Professor Mechanical Relations, Professor Mechanical Education. His education qualification is he done BE Bharidasan University Trichy and MTech NIT Trichy, PhD IIT Madras, and also he is the director of Sri Vijayam Fiber Boards, a spin-off company from EGS Pillai Engineering College. Commercial successful patent filed 3, and also his publication including conference is 15. He is a technical advisor for Multimedia University Malaysia and Southeastern University of Sri Lanka. He visited various countries for academics: Japan, Singapore, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka, and also consultant for Aditya Birla Science and Technology. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir. Once again, warm welcome, Dr. Sivaraman, sir, to occupy our third session now. Thank you, sir.
And then, yeah. Thank you very much for the introduction, sir. My screens are visible, sir?
Visible, sir?
Yes, sir, visible.
Hello? Yeah. Good afternoon to all. Today I am going to cover some basic fundamentals of 3D plastic printing and what are all the changes in developing the plastic 3D printing and some of the applications in industrial area. So this is my plan for today's talk for next 1.5 hours. I'll just introduce give the overview of additive manufacturing market. Since India is growing in par with China in the area of 3D printing, both plastic and metal. And I will introduce the 3D printing technology, latest advancements, and understanding the basic difference between subtractive manufacturing and additive manufacturing. And what are the process steps involved in 3D printing and the types of elements used in 3D plastic printing. And the main part of my presentation, that is heart of my presentation, is anatomy of a 3D printer. Once if you are familiarized with what I am going to present today, you can build your own 3D printer for your research purpose or also for your students training. And some of the applications in dental, jewelry and face masks also I will cover. So let us first see the additive manufacturing market. This is not for our country, but this is for Asian. And if you look, you can able to find 100 billion economy value is going to generate for additive manufacturing, both plastic and metal, and will create 4 million jobs by another 5 years. Technologies continue to move forward in various aspects, particularly in end-to-end workflow automations and optimizations. Significant process or progress in polymer additive manufacturing have been registered in material science and development of new materials for current technologies. Additive manufacturing has the potential to create, as I said earlier, 3 to 4 million jobs by 2030 and will reduce all import from other countries. And mostly we will be in a position of top 10 country to export the AM machines to the first world countries. Additive manufacturing hub in India particularly will focus on innovations around additive manufacturing solutions in metal and plastic technologies for exclusively for customers in marine and offshore and automation, particularly in cement industries, chemical industries, mining and other heavy industries. Apart from this, automobile, aerospace, medical, dental, tooling are the key sectors that are going to change the manufacturing scenario. And the strong support from corporate and government will make a new industrial revolution within 5 to 10 years, or otherwise I can call it as within next decade. With this overview, now I will go into the 3D printing or additive manufacturing. This presentation is made for the freshers, those who want to enter into the 3D printing area. If you carefully watch this presentation, as I told earlier, you can able to make your own 3D printer on your own. And you can act like an entrepreneur and also a consultant to many of the industries which are going to be a part of the next decade generation. So 3D printing is a process of building an object layer by layer, as the previous talk by professor from IIT addressed very nicely. And the layer thickness can be controlled digitally, that is by means of a 3D model. 3D printing is fundamentally an additive rather than subtractive in nature, and ASTM 42 defines 7 different additive manufacturing processes. I will tell what are those 7 different processes in the coming slides. And additive manufacturing is industrial version of 3D printing. Still, there is a confusion between 3D printing and additive manufacturing. Which one is correct? Many people use 3D printing and few of the industry people use additive manufacturing. And at this point of time, the audience must understand the basic fundamental difference between these two. If you Google it, you will get a result that both are same, but actually it is not like that. 3D printing is a term for shop and factory floor, whereas additive manufacturing is for the enterprise and supply chain. So this fundamental difference at this point of time, all the participants must know it. And these are the benefits of 3D printing. One is the design flexibility. You can change your design n number of times, which is not possible in conventional manufacturing. And since 3D printers require no tooling and bypassing time-consuming and costly tooling production steps, so it gives a shorter lead time. And any complex geometry can be produced, which is not possible by conventional. So design complexity is there. And one of the major advantages is on-demand production. Any number of new model of parts can be produced on demand. So if you, at this point of time, it is must to understand the 3D printing versus traditional manufacturing comparison on 4 aspects. One is cost, design, speed, and quality. In traditional, it is not possible, whereas in 3D, the cost 70% saving is possible. And whereas if you compare the design, it is inexpensive in 3D. In traditional, it is less innovation design due to cost. If you compare the speed, whereas for traditional, it takes more time to build, whereas 3D requires only lesser time. In terms of quality, high precision or higher precision is possible in 3D due to layer by layer manufacturing. And the same precision is also possible in traditional, but more wastage will come. For traditional machining, you have to spend high quality machineries to get high precision products. Yeah. So this additive manufacturing for end-use products or parts, the study actually provides an assessment of overall additive manufacturing opportunity for general industry and tooling sector. For both metal and polymer additive manufacturing processes for next 10 years. This includes leading polymer and metal additive manufacturing processes used for prototyping, tooling, and end products, along with technologies such as, say, for example, wet photopolymerization and metal binder jetting technologies. And this slide gives you the different end-use parts, which starts from functional parts to tooling components, which also includes the educational research sector. And you can find easily that almost 30 to 40% functional parts are manufactured. Whereas if you look at the educational research sector, it is less than 5%. And this slide shows you the landscape of the additive manufacturing for the next 2020 and given by AMFG. Okay. So this shows that polymer machine occupies almost 30 to 35% of the market, and metal machines occupy almost 20 to 25%. And other machines which also uses the polymer material, metal materials, post-processing, all comes under 5 to 10%. Category-wise, hardware comes under 50 to 60%, and software involves 10 to 15%, and post-processing is very less, less than 5%. And the research institutions is growing from 5 to 10%. And this is the standard which is for additive manufacturing for both metal and plastic. And we used to call it as ASTM F42, or otherwise call it as ISO TC261, which develops additive manufacturing standards, which involves additive manufacturing process and equipment standards, which includes powder bed fusion, material extrusion, etc., which was covered exclusively by the previous speaker. And the application-specific standards for aerospace, automotive, and medical, etc., it takes into account. And feedstock, what are the feedstock materials? If it is a metal, what are the types of metal powders? If it is a polymer, what are the types of filaments? So these standards, they will take care. And once the finished AM part comes, what are the post-processing we need to do? This standard will cover those things. And apart from this, general standards like additive manufacturing terminology, how to test the machines, how to test the products, what are the safety aspects are also discussed in this ASTM F42 standards. Once if you want to know clearly about this, you can refer the standard which is available by payment. Okay. Before going deep into the process, as I said earlier, ASTM F standard gives this F42 standards. American Society for Testing and Materials formulated a set of standards that classify the range of additive manufacturing processing into 7 categories. I hope in the previous speaker discussed in detail. Anyhow, I don't want to discuss in detail again. In the interest of time, I will just cover what are the major 7 categories. One is wet photopolymerization, which includes stereolithography, digital light processing, continuous liquid interface production. And the second one is material jetting, and the third one is binder jetting, and fourth one is everyone knows it is material extrusion. In this material extrusion, two important thing you need to consider based on the process. One is fused deposition modeling, and another one is fused filament fabrication. So I'm going to discuss in this presentation for the next 1 hour about the FDM, fused deposition modeling technique, in detail. And the fifth category is powder bed fusion, which includes multi-jet fusion, selective laser sintering, and direct metal laser sintering, DMLS process. And the sixth process is sheet lamination, and seventh one is directed energy deposition. So as I told, I will discuss in this 7 category, only one category for this presentation, which comes under material extrusion, which is nothing but fused deposition modeling. Before going deep into the process, it is at this point of time, you should be able to know the fundamental difference between additive and subtractive process. Subtractive machining, or otherwise called as material removal machining, if you look at the top left picture, you can see a milling machine which is doing the operation of milling or removal of material from a block. Okay. When you remove the material, the chips will come out. Chips is normally referred as the waste material. In the bottom, you can find a classic example of making an impeller for turbocharger. So once the first process is, you will get a block of aluminum or aluminum composites. So from the block, you have to forge to a required shape. After forging, you have to machine it to the required shape. Okay. So once the machining happens, you have to go for heat treatment and also final machining. Once you do the heat treatment and final machining, your final turbocharger will come. Okay. So please remember the number of stages involved in getting the final product. So this I am having in the coming slides, I can explain better. This is for overall view, and this slide gives you the fundamental understanding. There is a block, you have to remove a material like this. So you have to remove by means of any process available, maybe milling, drilling, grinding, or turning, whatever may be. In case of additive manufacturing, what you have to do, you have to build the part layer by layer, as you see in the left hand side. Okay. The biggest advantage of additive manufacturing is, since it is manufacturing is involved layer by layer, material wastage is reduced, and quickly you can produce the component. And one more classic example, the 3D printed hollow ball, which is absolutely not possible. Yes, it is possible in conventional, but it will take more time, and the accuracy will not get as printed as 3D hollow ball. And the top image, you can see a sphere manufactured through subtractive as well as additive process. Manufacturing sphere through conventional is very difficult and time consuming. Say for example, the image at the right hand side, you are seeing the Pisa tower, and the tower, which is by means of conventional, is absolutely takes more time, whereas by 3D printing you can do within 5 to 10 hour time based on the input given to the printer. Yeah. So why we need to go for a 3D printer? Say for example, you have an abstract idea. What do you mean by that abstract idea? You will have, say for example, you are interested in designing a bottle. Okay. Say for example, in market, water bottle, if you consider, you can, if you consider Kinley, and Aquafina, more water bottle companies are there, drinking water bottles. So suppose you want to make a water bottle to compete Aquafina and Kinley. So what you have to do? You have to first create a model, a pencil sketch of your abstract idea. Okay. Once if your abstract idea comes to your mind, what you have to do? Next, you will go on design using a 3D software. With the help of a 3D software, you will design, right? So design may take 1 to 10 steps according to your creativity. Say, for example, here I have 3 different bottle images, design 1, 2, 3. All 3 bottles are different in shape and size. If I want to manufacture this bottle, I have to go for the conventional. If I want to go for conventional manufacturing, I have to prepare the dye. Then I have to use the blow molding technology to get my bottle, plastic bottle. So this dye itself costs approximately 1 lakh rupees. This blow molding technology, once if you created the dye, you can give the dye to the blow molding industry people. They can blow and give you a sample bottle. But the dye itself costs 1 lakh rupees.
Sir, இந்த இமெயில் இருக்குல்ல, நான் நாங்க ஏசிடிக்குள்ள போனோம், அந்த இமெயில் ஐடி போணுமா இல்ல என்னோட வேற என்ன எது வேணுமாலும் போடலாம்? என்ன ரிஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணா அந்த இல்ல இப்ப உள்ள போனதுக்கு இதுக்கு போனோம்ல அட்ரலுக்கு அந்த
some disturbances. Hello sir. Yeah,
Sir, interruption.
Yeah. Okay. So in conventional stage, you have to prepare the dye, tool and die, which costs around 1 lakh rupees. If you want to see your abstract idea as a product, you have to spend 1 lakh to 1.25 lakhs to see a bottle. So here comes the advantage of 3D printing. How? If you have a machine of a 3D printer now, 3D printer, PET 3D printer is available in the market. If you have an abstract idea of a bottle, and if you design by using a 3D design software, you can make the same bottle or product, anything, within 2 to 3 hours of time, with 1,000 to 2,000 rupees. Okay, just compare the cost. So whatever the abstract idea comes to your mind, you can view that abstract idea model as a product within 1 or 2 hours at a maximum of 4 hours period of time with the help of a 3D printer. Okay, so the maximum amount you are going to spend will not be more than 5,000 rupees. Whereas in conventional, if you go, you have to spend 1 lakh rupees. Just compare the cost saving. And one of the major advantages, if you are not happy with the size and shape of the product, and you can immediately change the size and shape in the 3D software, and again you can give input to the 3D machine, 3D printer, and you can again see your final product in your hand within 4 to 5 hours. Okay, so this is possible. And PET, as you know, it's a polyethylene tetrachloride. It's a polyester, just like the clothing fabric. And if you are interested in this area, if you want to compete, or if you want to design your own drinking water bottle, or if you are doing a consultancy job, and you can use this PET bottle printer to convince your customer. Right? So these are all the possible design challenges. Okay, you can make different designs as you people see in this slide, including ring, snake design is possible. Of course, this is metal inconel. Just I am showing the same thing is possible with for plastic printing also. And this is Inconel 625, which is a metal product. This is not my, I'm just showing this. A similar complicated shape can be made with the help of a 3D printer. If you go by conventional process, it is possible, but it takes more days to come out the finished product. Okay, and also a 1 mm wall thickness is possible with the help of 3D printer. Yeah. This slide clearly explain. Before going into the next slides, let me finish the fundamental understanding with this slide. Okay. If you look at the image on the right hand top side corner, it's a component which is used for some part of a mechanical device. If you want to make this the component similar to what is shown on the right hand top, you have to undergo 8 processes. What are those 8 processes? One is facing, paper training, form training, chamfering, threading, boring, drilling, and knurling. So if you want to make a product similar to what you are seeing on the right hand top side, you have to undergo 8 different processes. So 8 different processes means 8 different types of setting, 8 different types of tools you have to use. So lead time will also get increased. Okay, the processing time will get increased. Once any tool got worn out or damaged, the entire product will get collapsed. So that is the reason why people now used to go for 3D printing. If you go for 3D printing, you can eliminate almost all the 8 processes. Just by adding layer by layer, one process, you can make the same component, what you are seeing on the right hand top, in a single stretch. That is the biggest advantage. And on the right hand top, right hand bottom, you can able to see, as you saw in the previous slides, an impeller with Inconel material, which is machined by a 5-axis machine. And once if you are using 5-axis machines, machinery itself is a cost, and it takes more time, and it's not guaranteed that you will get high precision component at the end. Okay, so at this point of time, you should be able to know what are the advantages of the 3D printing. So as I discussed, why we have to go for, it's a quick review, why we have to go for a 3D printing. It quickly converts an abstract idea into a physical object. Mostly this 3D printing, plastic printing is used for fast prototyping, and it's for small scale production only, not for large scale. And it can create objects that is very difficult, or sometimes it is impossible by any other way, right? And different complicated images or products, like as you see here, can be produced. And some of the fundamental difference between additive and subtractive, these things I discussed during my talk earlier. Okay, one of the biggest advantages in additive, you will get a finished product. Okay. And it's best suited for small items, and whereas subtractive machining is suited for manufacturing voluminous items and parts. And it's a cheap process. Additive is a cheap process, whereas subtractive is more expensive. Okay. Yeah. So now we are entering into most important part. What are the process steps involved in 3D printing? As I discussed earlier, first thing is an abstract idea will comes to your mind either on your own or by your customer. Once the abstract idea is formed, next you have to do what you have to do is you have to create a model in a digital software. Either it may be AutoCAD or SolidWorks or Pro-E, anything. Once if you create a model, you have to convert it into a .stl file. That is stereolithography CAD software. It's a STL file. Okay. Once if you convert your model into a STL file, you have to use one special software called slicing software. In the coming slide, I will tell you what is that slicing software, what it will do. Normally, it breaks the model surface into slices. Okay, like how you are making a slice of bread. Okay, say for example, bread you can cut into 20 pieces also, 10 pieces or 25 pieces also. So why we have to go for slice? Okay, these things I will explain in the coming slides. So once if you convert your abstract model or abstract idea into a creative model, then you have to convert into a STL file. Then with the help of slicing software, you have to slice your model, and then you have to give that data to the additive manufacturing system. Here AM system is nothing but the machine. So from the machine, you will get the final product. Okay. So only these 5 steps are there if you want to create or if you want to make a product, right? Yeah. Since I told I'm going to discuss here only about the plastic 3D printing. There are several plastic elements available, but commonly used are PLA and ABS. Right? So what is this PLA? Polylactic acid. It requires a temperature of 170 to 220 degrees centigrade to melt and flow. Okay. What is the advantage of this PLA? It's a bioplastic. It's good for environmental. It gives, of course, a good smell when you print. So when the heating is happening with the help of heating filament, it's a non-toxic. You won't get a toxic smell. And there is no necessary to heat the bed. Okay, and for high print speed and resolution, this PLA is used. And main advantage is compared to ABS is shrinking issues. It is less. If you go with this process, PLA material, your product, finished product, will not shrink. And it is ideal only for small parts. Okay. So what are the disadvantages of this is it cools down slowly. Okay. Once if you create a model, if you printed a component, it will take 15 to 30 minutes to cool. And it's a low heat resistance. It is easier to break. Even if you fall the product with a 1 or 2 meter height, it will break. Right? Then people started using ABS. So compared to PLA, this ABS required slightly 30 to 50 degree higher temperature. Whereas for PLA, it requires 170 to 220 degrees centigrade is required to melt and give a flow. Whereas ABS required 215 to 250 degrees centigrade. And the biggest advantage is it's a plastic property. It has a good plastic property. You will get a good smooth finish, surface finish, whereas not possible in PLA. And it quickly solidifies, and it's difficult to break. That is the reason why most of the mechanical component parts are built by ABS, acrylo, nitrile, butadiene, styrene, ABS. Okay. So disadvantage is it's non-biodegradable. You have to keep away from the children and aged people since it is petroleum based, and heated print bed is required. And once the filament is heated around 215 to 250, it gives fumes okay, which is toxic, and it slowly deteriorates when sunlight falls onto the product. Okay, so since these are all the common disadvantages, people prefer this ABS instead of PLA for only 3 reasons. One is it gives smooth finish, solidifies quickly, and difficult to break. So these 3 properties are with ABS, which is not with PLA. Okay. So if you are giving a demonstration, or if you are giving this 3D printer for children or for aged one, it is highly recommended to use PLA wires. Right? Yeah. This is most important slide. This is 3D printer developed by our group by assist from a Chennai-based company. They assisted us for the hardware part, and I just show you the skeleton of the 3D printer. Normally, this if you buy the 3D printer from the market, they will house this machine. They will put some cover and give it to you. Okay, you cannot see what is happening inside the 3D printer. Okay, and in this another half an hour, I am going to discuss with you how to build this 3D printer. So if you want to build a 3D printer, if you want to understand a human being, you have to understand the different parts of a human being. Say, for example, how many legs, how many ears, how many eyes, about how many bones, like the anatomy of a human body. Like that, you have to understand or know the anatomy of a 3D printer. Once if you know, you can able to develop your own 3D printer just by taking assist from known people. Once if you started building your own 3D printer, you can boldly give a consultancy. You can boldly take a consultancy project for your college or company. So in the picture, in the second picture, what you are seeing is we try to build. There are many products we build just for casual. Just for this presentation, I have shown very few, and I will show what are the problems comes when you design a 3D printer, and what are the problems we faced also. Okay. So for example, you just compare this slide and the next slide. What you are seeing in the figure 2 is a block of this 3D printer can able to print 500 by 500 by 500 length, breadth, width, 500 mm. It can build. If you buy from the company, you have to spend around 1,50,000 based on the reputation of the company. It may increase. We made this at a cost of 75 to 80,000. This picture gives you the same as I discussed in the previous slide. We try to build a block, a high-rise block. You can able to see the table, okay, slanted to some degree, which is not supposed to happen. So this happened because of failure of one particular part. What is that part? And once if you comfortable with the anatomy, you can solve this problem on your own. If you purchase the machine from a company, you have to wait for the company people to come to your place. Okay, so that is the reason why I prefer always to build our own printer, right? I will tell why this bed get slanted, okay, in the coming slides. So what you are seeing here, the 3D printer is seen here, the same one, and different parts are there involved in building the 3D printer. In the next coming slides, I will tell the anatomy. So one is the cooling fan, which is A. So where is A? It is here, right? So cooling fan is just attached to the extruder. Okay, it cures the print and help it to retain the shape. For this, cooling fan is required. So one more fan is available, that is heat sink fan. Where it is here, B. So this part is the printable part. Okay. So what this heat sink fan will do, this fan blows air across the heat sink to prevent heat from creeping up the extruder bar. So what will happen once if this creep happen? It causes filament to swell and jam in the extruder bar. What do you mean by that? If you don't have this heat sink fan, the continuity of the filament will not happen, right? So the next one is user interface. If you have a 3D printer machine in your laboratory, you can find this interface, which is a LCD display, which gives you the print related data, and this interface can provide simple data and take your printer connected to a computer for printing. And this is something like how you are using the SD card for your mobile. So whatever, as I discussed earlier, 5 important points. Whatever the model you created in the 3D model, whatever the idea comes, abstract idea comes to your mind. Say for example, if your idea is to print a bottle, then you have to create a bottle in a software, 3D software, then you have to convert into a STL file. So once that conversion is happened, you have to copy that file in this SD card and give as an input. For that, D is used. So next one is belt or cable. Sometimes for low cost people, they use cable. For high precision people, different company use belt, which are driven by motor. For X and Y axis, we use belt. For Z axis moment, we use lead screw. So stepper motor is F. You people know that it is used in all electric automobile parts. This stepper motor is used to give precise movement from sprocket and belt to move the extruder. Okay. For precise movement, this stepper motor is used. Then only you will get fine movement. Okay. Precise movement, in other words. So this is the filament drive gear or hobed gear. In our machine, I will show you the drive gear was manufactured on our own in a mother machine and assembled in our product. Okay, so we have not purchased this drive gear from other people. From the mother machine, we developed our own drive gear and fitted into our 3D printer. So this drive gear is very much helpful to drive the filament to the nozzle. So filament will be here in I. So you have to move the filament to the nozzle. How you can move? You cannot every time give the movement through your hand. For that, this drive gear is used. Okay, automatically feed at a standard rate. This is print head, as you discussed. As I discussed earlier, this is the print head. Whereas if you are using PLA material, no need to heat this print head. If you are using ABS, you have to heat this print head. Otherwise, you cannot remove the material from the bed. Or other words, it will stick to the bed if you are not maintaining a proper temperature, simply to prevent warping. Okay. So as I discussed earlier, this is filament. PLA or ABS can be used. Filament are available with 1.5 mm to 2.85 mm. So based on your filament availability, even these filaments are available in Flipkart and Amazon also. Based on your filament diameter, you can choose your own nozzle. Okay. Don't prefer first nozzle and then filament. First see your availability of filament and then choose your nozzle. Wide range of filaments are available in the market. Okay. So this is a lead screw. Okay. This is used for, this lead screw is used for Z-axis movement, and whereas for X and Y axis, as I discussed earlier, belt is used. Okay. And for Z-axis, lead screw is used just to get high accuracy. Okay. I told you the print bed slanted to some degree because of problem with this lead screw. I have shown the slanted bed in the bottom of the slide, and because of this lead screw, this bed has slanted after print was happened, after print has reached almost 400 mm. Okay, for example, if you want to print a Paisa tower, which is having a height of 500 mm. So once if it crossed 400 mm, if your bed has slanted, then your entire product will get collapsed. So for printing 500 mm height block, it takes around 5 to 10 hours time. So your entire time also will get wasted apart from the material. So you have to carefully use, you have to carefully select the component from the industry. Best lead screw, best belt, like that. And power supply, which is always known to all, converting AC into low voltage DC, right? And this is the motherboard, which controls, this is the heart, which contains the microprocessor and other circuitry. So through SD card, the information whatever available in the SD card will be read by with the help of this motherboard, and this will give direction or movement to the print head. How much the print has to move X, Y, and Z direction. Okay, everything depends on motherboard. I will also tell you which motherboard is better for your 3D printer. So this is a hot sink, hot end. This is the main and important part of your 3D printer. So the 6 is nothing but the nozzle. So you have to feed the wire through 3. Okay, 3, and the feeding will happen with the help of the drive feed gear. And once the feeding is going on, the heating element will heat and help the PLA or ABS plastic to move ahead in the plastic range. Okay, so you have to carefully select the temperature, otherwise you will not get the flow. For ABS 210 to 250 you have to maintain. If you maintain less than 210, you will not get the flow, your material will stuck. If you go beyond 250, you will not get the flow, your material will get stuck. So you have to properly maintain the temperature, then only you will get the continuous flow, right? So this heat sink is number 1, which helps, which keeps the heat from traveling upward and melting the plastic prematurely. Okay. So number 3 is most important. It is PTFE tube, which prevents heat from traveling up the extruder and melting the filament prematurely. So at this point of time, you should understand the importance of PTFE tube. So you are giving feeder, you are giving ABS or PLA wire continuously. Once heating should happen only at the nozzle side. It should not, the heat should not penetrate back into the tube. Once if it happens, the material will melt and stuck in between, and you have to change the entire nozzle part. Okay, you have to carefully do this. So initially, if you are developing a 3D printer, you have to struggle with this part. Okay, by doing trial and error for 5 to 10 times, you have to optimize. You have to optimize. Then only you can come to a conclusion. Straight away with one shot, it is very difficult to get a continuous flow, right? So the thermocouple, which is used to measure the temperature, with the help of that, you can get the temperature and you can control. Okay. Yeah, as I discussed in the earlier, what is slicing? It is something similar to how you are slicing your bread. So, say for example, if you want, if you are 4 member in your family, it is up to you to slice. You can slice into 4 parts, or you can slice into 8 parts, or you can slice into 12 parts. It depends upon you. So every slice will give you a dimension. Okay. Say for example, if you have a design which is shown in the left hand top, so this is the design you want to. It depends on you. You have to use different slicing software available in the market. What slicing software will do, I will tell you in the coming slides. At this point of time, you just understand you have to slice this product or model into 50 or 100 or 25, it depends upon you. So every slice, as you see on the right hand side, every sliced product or sliced image will have X, Y and Z dimensions. Okay. Every slice will have different X, Y and Z dimension. So this slicing software will create a G code for every sliced part. Okay, the slicing software will create a G code for every sliced part, and it will be recorded and stored in the SD card. Okay, so once it is stored in the SD card, you have to copy and give into the additive manufacturing machine. It will print. That's all. So what this slicing software will do? It will slice into number of parts. Every part will have X, Y, and Z dimensions. So every part will have this software will create a G code. So this G code will be given as an input to the additive manufacturing machine. According to this XY dimension, your print head will move. Okay, your print head will move according to the dimension given as an input. So what you are seeing in the third image is printing stage by stage or slice by slice. So this Cura is slicing software, and just I'm showing here how it works. It slices, as you saw in the previous slide, into either 50, 100 or 150 or 200, and it slices. From every slice, a G code is generated. Once G code generation finished, the G code can be sent to the printer for the manufacturing of the physical object. Okay, so mostly open source software is compatible with desktop printer. Common format we can use is .stl, OBJ, JPEG, GIF, PNG, BMP also. File format also it can support. Yeah, just as I told earlier, these are all the different software available in the market. I just took only Cura. I'm not recommending Cura, just for comparison I gave. And Repetier is a common slicing software used widely in the market. And 3D Slash and Simplified 3D Slice, they are also used. So you have to carefully select the slicing software. Why? You are seeing in this slide 2 images of old. Okay, 2 images printed with the help of 3D printer, same 3D printer with a different slicing software. So you can easily recognize that both the pictures are old. Okay. Is there any variation you can able to see from these 2 images? Just to see carefully. Just look at the images carefully, whether you can able to distinguish between these 2 images. So the main part of the product or the main part of the owl is the eye. Okay. The main part is the eye. In both the images, if you look at carefully, Slice 3R and Cura gives a better image, eye. If you look at the eye part, you can able to see eye very clearly in Cura software, which is not in Slice 3R. Okay. So when you are using the same 3D printer machine, you can compare different software and you can choose your own. And this Octoprint slicing software is also commonly used. So what are the information available with the slicing software is, the slicing software will tell you information like what is the current position, that is X, Y, and Z position, and how much time it takes to complete the product, and what are the filament used, and how much time it took to complete the product as of now. So these kind of informations you can get from the slicing software, right? Yeah. So this is the hardware part which I told you earlier. If you are seriously interested in developing your own 3D printer, I recommend you people to go for the Merlin. It's a firmware for 3D printer. It is mainly based on Arduino platform, and many commercially available printers are having this Merlin installed. Okay, and if you are very much interested, I can give more information about this if you contact me personally, right? Yeah. Now we enter into the important part. Apart from the anatomy, the printer side. So what you are seeing is for dental applications. Okay, printer for dental applications, and yeah. So if you look at the image, it is the tooth, and Lithos is an Austria-based company. They developed a scalable additive manufacturing process based on lithography-based ceramic manufacturing. Okay, so this way we have to go for ceramic materials. Ceramic way we have to concentrate on this. If you are familiar with this process, this lithography based ceramic manufacturing process, you can do consultation for the patients, dental patients. You can do consultation for the dentist. Okay? So dentist will give the input, and you can do the printing in your lab, and you can do the n number of changes, and you can do the dental service for dentists. Okay, this is the key area, consulting area you can think of. So a lot of potential are there. That is the reason why I recommend all of you to concentrate on this. So ceramic materials are widely used in dental industry, and ceramics have long-term stability and high mechanical performance, which is ideal for implants. 3D printed dental implants offer greater degree of design freedom compared to conventionally produced devices, and more efficient in terms of material usage also. So this company Lithos is, as I discussed earlier, is from Austria. And you have to, once if you are developing your own machine, I have not developed any machine for this, but once if you are interested in developing, you have to get the standard certification from EN, ISO 13485 certification you have to get. It is mandatory if you are working on dentist or dental areas. So this Lithos offers resorbable materials like hydroxyl apatite or tricalcium phosphate, which is used to produce interconnected pore network based implants. So that are customized to mostly that are customized to implants are customized to patients according to their requirements, right? And some of the dental applications people they are using open resin platform, and they printed separately. And what they will do, they will with the help of open resin platform, they will print teeth and base separately, and after that they will fuse together to join. So I got this information from the print rate, which is a technology. So the traditional methods for denture protections are extremely costly and involve long wait time for fabrication and shipping. So we have to concentrate on this digital dentistry. So before 3D printing, the cost of denture prohibited such acts of philanthropy. It simply would not be financially viable to offer a free set of dentures. Okay. And if you look at the first image, you take impression of the patient mouth and create cluster models. And we have also did dental application on resin. We tried one model, and we are waiting for patent to get. Maybe if opportunity comes, maybe I can share in the next event or seminar or talk. And successfully we have come out with resin for dentist people. So main thing what you have to note down is you have to take the impression of the patient mouth and create a plaster model. Then you have to do a digital scan of the plaster model. So with the help of the software, you can do this. Then you have to print. Only these 4 steps are involved in dental applications. Yeah, this is jewelry application, and I just made this slide with the help of Formlabs picture. This picture is I give the courtesy to the Formlabs. The 3D printing has revolutionized how jewelry is made. Okay? So the uniqueness, the precision, and attention to detail are the key aspects of the quality jewelry. And this is exactly where 3D printing shines. Okay, and you don't think that 3D printing jewelry means you can directly print your gold. with the help of code, you can directly print your final product, which may be a ring or any design. It's not like that. So 3D printing jewelry doesn't mean directly producing end-use pieces of jewelry. So jewelers often 3D print highly detailed wax models. Okay. So they will the wax models they will print of the desired rings, which are later used to make the mold. Okay. So once if you create the wax model, this can be used as a mold. So the mold material is poured. When the mold hardens, with the help of oven, you have to melt or burn out, and the rings can be taken out. So this is the main advantage of this 3D printing in jewelry. And to better understand this jewelry process, I can give a small example. How jewelry printing is done. Just imagine you are a jeweler and you have to print some 10 to 25 jewelry gold rings. Okay. So first thing you need to do is to model the desired ring in CAD and later export the model as a file compatible with your 3D printer, as I discussed, .stl file. So next step is to print 20 or 25 or 50 model of the ring. If you don't connect them with the weak lattice, you would then need to attach them to a plastic or wax stand. Okay. So you cannot print directly the mold. Okay. You have to give a support. Okay. This is what I try to explain. So either way, the collection goes into the bin into which the mold material is poured. So once the molten material hardens, it's put in an oven to melt or burn out the rings and the connecting structures. Okay. So like this, you can get your own jewelry, the product, and famous jewelers in Chennai and are using this software to make different design to the customers. Okay. Yeah. So just I'm sharing some of the ongoing projects in our institute. So you can also, if you have a 3D printer machine, you can also go for consulting, and this is funded by a private group. They want us to develop voice recognized this product for physically challenged. Once if I give a command like connect to your forefinger. Hello. Once if I said you just touch your forefinger and middle finger, it will do. Okay. So just I'm not going very deep into it because of it's a private funded. It's a private funded product, and this is another product we developed on our own, not in our laboratory. We gave it outside to print and assembled. Okay, it's for a robotic application with 6 arms. Like this, also you can assemble your own product similar to this or anything, whichever you like. Right? Yeah. The main part is this 3D printer valve. Okay, so during this, as I discussed earlier, this 3D printer helps a lot during this Corona time, this COVID-19 pandemic situation. It helps a lot. It helps to save lives during this COVID-19 pandemic. So what happened? Supplier who cannot supply product, as you see in this slide, it's a replacement wall or a reanimation device. They couldn't able to do this. So this coronavirus is putting a strain on number of people. Some voice disturbance. Hello. Hello. Yeah. So this coronavirus is putting a strain on a number of people requiring intensive care and oxygenation in order to live through the infection long enough for their antibodies to fight it. This means that the best way to save life other than prevention is to have as many reanimation machines working as possible. Okay. So as this virus inevitably continue to spread worldwide, the ingenuity and design skill of people coupled with technology such as 3D printing can play a vital role in helping those around us who need it most. Okay. So even I have this STL file of this product. Even if someone wants, I can share. This particular company stopped because of the pandemic, stopped giving this particular component, and they struggled. With the help of 3D printer, they made it. Okay. And one more example of the Venturi wall. Okay, they have done. So what you are seeing is here is the Venturi wall of a different color. So different color shows the different oxygen intake. Okay. So the comprehensive range of Venturi valves are seen here. These products are designed to meet the requirements of BS standards. These are color coded for easy identification. Okay. So say for example, red will allow 40% oxygen. Okay. Whereas the green will allow 60% oxygen. Say for example, patient need only 24% of oxygen, not more than that. They have to go for blue. What happened during this pandemic? The supplier cannot or they can't able to supply this colored Venturi wall to the hospitals. So if you have the 3D printing facility, normal FDM facility, you can print this on your own and you can fix this or you can assist for the patients with the help of your doctor, as seen in the bottom of the picture, right? So how the Venturi wall is attached with the mask kit is shown here. Okay. So even some companies are making this mask also with the help of 3D printer with FDM technologies. I will show you the coming slide. See, the same Venturi wall as you saw here was made with the help of 3D printer. Okay. So this is the face shield. I'm just calling everyone who are watching this seminar or watching this slide or who has access to 3D printers to support this initiative to your local body, either maybe government or private, okay, to produce and distribute this PPE to the frontline medical staff. Even if you have a machine of 75,000 rupees, you can print this face shield. This face shield. I have this STL file also. I can send it free of cost, and you can print and give it to the frontline medical staff or any people who are closely working with corona patients. Okay. And the layer thickness can be maintained from 0.4 to 0.8. Okay, so any thickness can be made according to your design. And this particular is the face mask. This is one interesting slide I want to discuss with you. This is also possible with our machine. This I just courtesy images from Copper 3D. You know that copper and copper alloys can also eliminate pathogenic organisms such as bacterial strain and influenza virus and fungi after a short period of exposure. I don't know about the coronavirus, but it can eliminate bacterial strains and fungus. So the studies shown that copper destroys the replication and propagation abilities of SARS, MERS, and respiratory viruses. So you have to carefully listen to this. Okay. So this copper destroys the propagation ability of SARS, MERS, and respiratory viruses. So if you are interested in doing research, you can start your research with the help of this, with the help of copper, or you can use the copper as one of the product in your 3D printer material. This Nova filtration system designed by this Copper 3D, which includes multiple layers, as you see in these pictures, with the different geometries to provide an effective fine particle filtration. So it has fine particle filtration and included copper nano composite. Okay. So say for example, if you are working on nano composites, and you can use copper or any of the other materials which can destroy the viruses, and you can file a patent. Even if you are intelligent, you can sell to the market also. Okay, this includes the this particular Copper 3D company. They use the copper nanocomposite that has been proven to deactivate viruses. In addition to copper nanocopper system, the filtration system also house, as usual, you saw in the regular masks like sponges, clothing, or other textiles also. Okay, so I'm not going very deep into this because of some patent issues. And if you are very much interested, and there is no brilliant or there is no not much knowledge is required to do consultancy on 3D printing. Just if you are having a basic interest, you can switch over. You may be an expert in thermal or design, or you may be an expert in civil or electronics or whatever may be the area of expertise. Anyone can concentrate on 3D printing and they become master. Okay. I request every participant not just attend this webinar or this seminar for the certificate purpose. Just try to develop your own 3D printer, or just buy a 3D printer which is available at low cost and do your product, small products for your daily needs, and try to commercialize it. One day you will become a successful entrepreneur or a consultant, or you can help the students to understand better, right? So with this, I end my presentation. I thank you all, the participants, and I thank the management of the KSR Engineering College. And I thank the coordinators, and my special thanks to Dr. R. Mani, who is professor in KSR Engineering College and belongs to Mechanical Engineering Department, for inviting me to present. I hope I have given some inputs to the participants. If there are any questions, I am ready to answer. If you are not able to ask now, you can reach me through email, and I am ready to support for the development of the 3D printer. Right. So with this, I stop my presentation and over to the coordinators. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. If participant, if you ask any type of questions, anything, for now. If you ask any type of questions for this session, Dr. V. Sivaraman, sir, Director, Industry Institute Relations and Professor Mechanical Engineering, EGSV Engineering College, Nagapattinam. Handled a journey from rapid prototyping to additive manufacturing topic, elaborately and deeply, concentrated with 3D plastic printing, fundamental and challenges topic, handled deeply, and also concentrate all the participants to know about the slicing, software using, printing, and other things. Well known about all the areas. So if you have any doubt, to clarify now.